They would have their protest signs. They would put a small nail. They would walk by you and they would drag that nail across your leg.
Do you think Roe vs. Wade, like before Kavanaugh, how stable do you think it was?
Very unstable. It was unstable from the second it was argued, because it was argued on privacy, not on like human rights or civil rights.
Yeah.
I had an abortion when I was in high school. I went to Catholic school, got pregnant the first time I ever had sex. I had a horrible boyfriend, and I saw an ad for a place on a bus that was a fake clinic that said free pregnancy tests. And I was like, great, I don't have any money. So I went to the place, and this woman literally sat me down. She said to me, your choices are mommy or murder.
Did you use a condom, if you don't mind me asking?
I used nothing. I like rationalized not using birth control. I literally said to myself, if I use birth control and have sex, I'll be committing 2 sins.
I'm so happy that I started getting educated so young because my sex education was awful and my friends had no idea what to do. Either their boyfriend had coerced them to not use a condom or they had they forgot to take their plan B and they were like, I can't imagine how you felt.
The relationship was bad with this boy.
Yeah.
Like he was mean and abusive. I didn't know how to get out of the relationship because I was young, but I knew that if I stayed pregnant or had a kid with him, that I would never get out. So I just ran out of there. And thank God I found a really great clinic to have an abortion, and I got to have my life because I got to have that. Culturally, how did you grow up that you sort of had this perfect, normalized sense of what abortion means?
I had my family who luckily were very open, and my mom was talking about blowjobs and abortion since like 7th grade.
Right.
My mom, my grandma, my aunt have all told me their stories of, my mom had a legal abortion, the other 2 were illegal, and like, I remember thinking like, this is so simple. Like, why shouldn't you have this choice? What was it like when you started protesting?
When I started protesting, the way that you found out was through alternative bookstores, independent bookstores, music stores, mailers. But before the marches happened, these living room clubs happened. The living room was where we decided how we were going to go talk to the politicians, how we were going to create clandestine meeting places, if we were going to drop banners off of a building, if we were going to confront people. We started escorting at clinics in the late 80s. We would have to lock arms so that the protesters couldn't break into the clinic to terrorize the workers and the patients. One of the tactics they used, they would have their protest signs. They would put a small nail in the back of the sign, just tiny, you couldn't see it. They would walk by you and they would drag that nail across your leg so that you would break, and then that's how they would get in. And so I have like a scar on my leg from it happening.
I feel like I need to like take a second and like think about everything you're saying, because I saw my first anti-abortion protest a month ago, and it was 3 religious people standing silently outside the Planned Parenthood on Bleecker. They weren't yelling, they weren't screaming, and there were the escorts there in their pink vests, and like any patient who would have come would have been safe. But I know about the history of violence, and hearing you describe it so vividly.
In the 90s, abortion was so violent. No laws protected the clinics in any way. The protesters were outside clinics in droves, and they would chain themselves to the clinics. And they were violent. Many doctors were killed, bombings of clinics. People forget that this angry violence was happening all the time. While Roe v. Wade said abortion be legal in all 50 states, it was a case in 1992 called Planned Parenthood v. Casey that changed the landscape of abortion. The place that we find ourselves in now, with states passing all of these horrible
The hallway
laws. Yes, the hallway laws. You have to have a physician who has admitting privileges at a hospital. The provider that provides your abortion also has to be an OBGYN, can't be a family doctor.
Heartbeat bills?
Heartbeat bills. All of these bills that we hear about all the time that are causing clinics to close are all allowed to be passed because of this Supreme Court ruling called Planned Parenthood v. Casey. Then that starts the undoing of Roe. There's many states that have a trigger law in place that says if for some reason Roe v. Wade is overturned by a different, more restrictive law, abortion's banned in our state.
I feel like protests aren't enough. People go there so they can post their Instagram picture and they can pat themselves on the back.
What's happening now sometimes in our activism is that it's backwards, or the march is the only thing. But always giving people tangible actions. If taking to the streets isn't what you need right now, come and talk to us, because we can give you large and small ways where you can make change. If you can register people to vote, great. Figure out what your skill is, figure out what fuels you, right? And that can be like, I love to bake. So that means bake for the revolution.
Yeah.
If you're organized, help the revolution organize.
I love you. I feel better about the world knowing that you're
Oh my
in
God,
it.
you too. You have to carry on when I'm old.
Yeah.